Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to talk here today at the Samsung conference. We had a number of joint projects together, and generally I enjoyed collaboration with Samsung over the years, and I'm really looking forward for even more interaction in the future. And of course, most of our work together was about graphene. It's of course it's really wonderful material. It has a number of unique properties, superlatives. Of course, we all know there's the thinnest possible, the most conductive, thermally conductive, impermeable, and so on. And it was really a great pleasure to collaborate with Samsung on many of the applications of this wonderful material. And these days, we see that graphene gradually getting into our life in many different areas, from batteries to composites, from optoelectronics to membranes. But what I'm going to talk about today is actually the work beyond graphene. What can we expect from the material science in the future? And one nice thing about graphene that it opened up new class of materials is the two-dimensional crystals, one atomic thick crystals. And these days, we really enjoy playing and researching into properties of many other two-dimensional materials, such as many semiconductors, insulators, semi-metals, ferromagnets, superconductors, you name it. But we also go a step further, and we start to prepare designer materials on demand, which properties which we can modify depending on the applications we want. Thus, we can combine those two-dimensional crystals together in a very complex heterostructures when we sandwich those two-dimensional crystals in an order Mother Nature never intended it to be. And that way we can get into a completely new devices with new properties. And I should say that Samsung was at the front end of many of those developments. Thus, we're talking about tunneling to transistors, solar cells, photodetectors, LED devices, and so on. And that was the development over the last maybe 5-6 years, and we really enjoyed very rapid developments in this area. But the challenges of the future really dictate us that we need to develop completely new materials and focus on the functionalities rather than on the properties. So we need to develop materials which have memory, which can evolve by themselves, to be active, to be able to learn. So we want materials to be alive and develop by themselves. And that really brings us to the very new paradigm in material engineering. We really want to combine and gather together different components from different areas, not only two-dimensional crystals, we talk about zero-dimensional, one-dimensional, just anything which can interact strongly. And if we do this, we can really create very complex heterostructures. And that's really the development of in our lab in the next few years, where we combine zero-dimensional like quantum dots or cage molecules, polymers, which are one-dimensional, 2D crystals, of course, three-dimensional crystals without bulk, even live materials. And we combine them together in such a way that the components interact strongly, and through this interaction, they really get some intelligence, that the response which we get creates a feedback to the stimuli itself, and this way materials acquire memory, acquire functionality, acquire intelligence. And we really hope that those new materials will have applications in many different areas, from electronics to energy, membranes, bio, healthcare, and so on. So it's really challenging task to develop those materials, and machine learning is one of the ways how we're planning to tackle it. I know that Samsung is developing its own machine learning technology for material design, and it would be really nice and interesting to compare our results and collaborate in this area. But even further than that, we really hope that our new materials, those which can have memory and have and being able to develop by themselves, will contribute by themselves to the creation of new, beyond von Neumann computing technologies, such as, for example, memristor networks. So we started to work in this direction already. We for example, we combine 2D crystals with polymers. Polymers are very responsive to the environment, very agile. 2D materials give you very robust, predetermined response. And when you combine them, you can program that to be responsive to certain stimuli, but also to create feedback and have memory, for example. And already now we have results on smart membranes for ion separation, for artificial tissue, drug delivery, and so on. Our latest results is the application of such materials as smart antiviral coating, and they show quite a good response for the COVID-19 antiviral coatings. So I would really like to finish here saying that material science is really just at the start of its development. We really need to think about future materials which are intelligent, smart, can evolve by themselves, and those materials can be used in many aspects of our life. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward for future collaboration. Thank you.